Batman Arkham City is one of those games I can come back to constantly, and it will always be refreshing. This game is one of my favorite games of all time, and one of the greatest video games in general. It changed what superhero games should be. I mean, Spider-Man 2 back then was really great, but this game just was amazing. Arkham Asylum was also amazing, but this game is just where it changed. It just changed everything. Yeah, you did click on the Arkham City video, so I'm obviously gonna suck it off the whole time. The game does have problems, and no game is truly perfect as a whole, but this one boss fight in particular is what I would say, yeah, perfect, or at least close to perfect, like as perfect as you can get to a boss fight. Because the other boss fights, like Bane from Arkham Origins, which is also really great. The boss fights in this game are really cool, but some of them are really like kind of stinky. Still, I don't think Arkham Asylum's Joker was that fun. You know, some fights are just like not fun, like the Deadshot one. Some just are not fun, but some, like, you know, Bane from Arkham Origins or Scarecrow from Asylum was really cool. Ra's al Ghul, Killer Croc, Deathstroke. But the one I'm going to be talking about is my favorite in all the games. In all of the games, it's my favorite, and it's the Mr. Freeze boss fight. It's definitely the best to me, and just it beats out all the other ones. Like, yeah, Killer Croc and Scarecrow may, you know, be really scary and really cool because they tap into both the player's fears and your fears and Batman's fears, which I saw other YouTubers talk about that. They were like, yeah, you know, I didn't see too many other games do this type of stuff, and when I was playing it, I really didn't see when Scarecrow like did that thing where you make the game think it crashed. I thought it was really great. It was really great. But Deathstroke may be the coolest looking one, where you're just like actually fighting, and Bane may be a sexy bastard, but Mr. Freeze just outdoes everyone to me. For one, he looks awesome in this game. Like, I remember Commissioner Gordon just looks horrendous in the Arkham games until Knight. He looks bad. He looks okay in Origins, but in City and Asylum, he looks disgusting. He looks just like, why? What were you thinking? How do you go from like cool looking scary people like Killer Croc, Batman, and Joker look amazing, and then just Commissioner Gordon, just like, bruh, supposed to look so much better. But Mr. Freeze looks amazing, and the boss fight when you're fighting him looks awesome. The atmosphere and the environment look amazing. They are really cool looking, that light, and it just looks like it's genuinely cold. Like, it's snowing all the time in this game, so it looks really cool. And the cool thing about this fight that I really love is that Mr. Freeze adapts heavily to you. You can't damage him the same way twice, and no, you can't just run up to him and just like, you know, just start throwing hands with Mr. Freeze. He's in a big ass suit. You can't really do that, but he adapts to you. You have to like use stealth and actually use your different tools, because again, you can't damage him the same way twice. You need to use different things to stop him, which forces you to be creative and use all of your weapons to your advantage. Some people say like the combat in this game is like kind of lame, but I actually like using the weapons in this game. The quick fire weapons, like using all that stuff, it's actually fun to me. So when they actually make you use like different stuff in this boss fight, like if you use the railings, like if you like hang off the railings and get him, you can only get him once. He will freeze the railings so you can't get him again. I love how intense this fight is, because Mr. Freeze, when he does find you, just fucking run. Like, I played on all the modes, all the different modes. On easy mode, it takes like 3 times. On normal, it takes 5. On the Chad hard, you know, it takes 8. But on New Game Plus, it takes 9. It gets pretty ridiculous. And I also love how Mr. Freeze can try and predict where you are. And he even starts to use heat-seeking drones and will track you using the heat of your footsteps as well. And the drones just literally tell Freeze where you are. I think they just like go into you and hit you, and he just knows where you are. And he will basically, he gets to a point where he will shoot bombs. You shoot freaking bombs before you even get there, because he's trying to predict your movements. He's trying to predict where you are before you even get there. Mr. Freeze is literally buffering bombs and putting bomb placement where you were going to be, you know. And also, the crazy part of this fight is that if you use detective mode too much, he will just jam it for the rest of the fight. The rest of the fucking fight. The whole fucking fight is no more detective mode. It's gone. If you use it too much, you have to only use it periodically. Like, I just don't use it too much. You know, you have to use it periodically at small places. You can't use it the whole time, which is awesome. That is fucking awesome in so many ways, dude. And there's a lot of different ways to even get Mr. Freeze. You could use the Freeze Disruptor, which it was a thing you used on Penguin in the Iceberg Lounge. That clean ass uppercut where you uppercut a Penguin. Use that. You can use a Silent Takedown, and there are even some really complicated ones like the freaking line launcher is one of them. The line thing where like you launch a line, you can use that to get Mr. Freeze. Some of them are really complicated like that. Like, that's not complicated, that's just like odd. It's more odd than complicated. You know, it's just weird. And some of them you need upgrades too to even do. You know, you need some upgrades on your weapons to even do from the Wayne Tech. There's also environmental takedowns like that puddle of water you can electrocute. You know, this fight makes all the fights in this series just look so stinky. Like Joker and Asylum to me is just lame to me, just like boring, or like Deadshot was just like boring. And I think in the new Gotham, the new Suicide Squad one, I think that's in the same universe. I'm pretty sure it's in the same universe because Deadshot's different. So they said this other one was a fake Deadshot, which makes sense if his boss fight was literally garbage. It was so whack. But Mr. Freeze, just like, bruh, he's not easy at all to me in this one. Like, he's not easy at all. He's actually really hard for me, at least, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm booty at this game. I am actually booty at this game. But this fight is pretty challenging while still being fun and creative at the same time. Even small details in this game, just like small details in this boss fight, like how Joker, since Batman's poisoned or whatever with his blood from the first game, you see him like hallucinate the Joker. Mr. Freeze hallucinate as the Joker. That was really cool. Like, I guess like it's a little overdone, especially seeing it all the time at night. I think that is okay. I don't think it's as bad as everyone says. I think it's okay, but the small details in this fight, you know, is really cool. I really like that about this game and this boss fight. This boss fight just shows, to me at least, this shows what other boss fights strive to be, in my opinion. It's a genuinely an amazing boss fight. Genuinely great. And it's an Arkham City video. You either thought I was gonna hate, or you thought I was gonna suck it off. Like I said, this is a perfect boss fight. Of course I'm gonna suck it off, you know. To me, it's an amazing boss fight. And I'm not saying other games can't have bad boss fights. Like Bowser and Galaxy 1 was a great one. Like even other superhero games have some really cool boss fights. Like Doc Ock and Spider-Man, or the Rhino and Scorpion. You know, some of those ones are cool. But Mr. Freeze in this game is just amazing. It's near perfect. It's perfect to me. It's really great.